The problem with writing web applications. How not to structure your code. So you're writing a web application in PHP, for example, a blog. So you start with your home page, index.php. The first thing you might do in this file is connect to a database and get some data from it. Then you might want to display that data, so you add some HTML. Then maybe you've got a form in your HTML too, and you need to add code to process the form if it's submitted in the same file, and so on. Very quickly, a PHP script can get complicated, with application logic all mixed in together with the presentation code, even if you're using classes and objects to organize your code. So let's have a look at how your files might be structured. Let's start again with index.php. Then maybe you want another page that's a list of blog posts. Then perhaps a page to show a single post. Then of course all of these need access to the database, so you create a separate file with the database details in it. Then you include that file in all the others that need database access. Then maybe you want an admin area to administer users, so you create a folder and a file inside that, which of course needs access to the database as well. And so on. As you add files, it can very quickly become unstructured, unmanageable and unmaintainable, with includes everywhere and presentation code all mixed in with the application logic. The code that does stuff is mixed all in with the code that shows stuff. Basically, the traditional way of coding PHP, the web address maps directly to a script in the file system like this. And this is how it can get complicated. So what are the main problems? Well, it's difficult to maintain the code. As the script files are unstructured, you might even have horrible includes that are including files on several different levels above the file that you're using. It's difficult to develop, as the application logic is all mixed up with the presentation. A programmer and a designer can't work on the same file. A designer could break your application logic, and a programmer could break the design. And it's potentially insecure. Database passwords are in a file in a publicly accessible folder in the web folder. So what's the solution? Well, one solution is to use a framework. So what's a framework? A framework is a library of code. It provides structure that you can use to build your application on. You can code faster, more than one person can work on the code at once, and the code is less complicated, so it's therefore easier to maintain. It's also more secure. Database passwords and other configuration information can be stored outside of the publicly accessible web folder. One of the most common and easiest to understand types of framework is MVC, Model View Controller, and we'll take a look at this in more detail in the next video.